Anyways, so I am going through this whole 14-day nutritional fast that I talked about in on my last 2 videos. I'm kind of trying to run through a day. I'm really taking it in. I read this book 3 years ago. Really kind of changed where I was in 2009. I went on this blended fast out of here for like 3 months. Kind of want to do the same thing again, and I've been putting it off because of my social things with people and whatnot. So anyways, my soups are always got coconuts in them. These are organic coconuts. These are so, like, you don't find these. So I started going to this new store that is the only organic, fully organic store in Southern California. And I don't have a problem with some of these being bad, and maybe some of you do. So these are all good, every one of them. So when you're in the store, if you want to find out if a coconut's bad or good, you use this. And you go to the coconut, and of course everybody's going to look at you strange, wondering what the fuck kind of magic you're doing with the coconut, and you just say, "Are you good for me?" And of course that wagging back and forth is a yes, and if it was a moldy, disgusting coconut, it would do a circular motion for a no. So I'm going to show you again. I've done this 3 or 4 times over the last 2 years on my videos, how to open a coconut. So there's always one hole that'll pop right open, and that's it. And then the other 3 we've got to do this with. And you can only open 2 if you want to, but I just find opening all 3 gets it more breathe. And the water gets out of there quicker. So into the Vitamix, and of course Vitamix still missing the tea from earlier today. So we'll just kind of let all that water drain in there. I went shopping today. I got my precious stevia. But like I said, it's good to not be addicted to things and to not like get into that whole culinary thing. So get all the water out of there. Coconuts, I really stand behind coconuts. I don't see too many people doing them. They're a good full meal with a lot of good fats in them. Okay, so it's out. So we'll go over here to the sink just for the hell of it. That's how you open it. And there it is already. And you want to watch out for the cracks because they pull back on your skin. Pull back on your skin and pinch the shit out of you. And you want to get these down to like kind of flat pieces because it's the roundness that holds the coconut in there. And you won't believe how much faster the meat comes out of these if you get rid of this roundness. Again, too round. Want a nice big soup spoon. And I'm going to go through there and just go into these. These new coconuts I've been getting, sometimes you can get some of these that are a bitch to get the meat out of, and these have not been at all. I'm going to watch out for those little bits of wood there. Are you still rolling camera?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a total cat person. And to me, if a cat is well worth its personality, by the time it's like 2 years old, it has at least 15 names. At least, minimum. So this cat's official name is James Dean, right?
James Dean.
So from there,
Jimmy Bean.
it became James, and then Jimmy,
And sausage.
and then, Of course, we made the name with James Dean, the association with Jimmy Dean sausage. So he became Sausage. And of course, a good cat knows all of his 15 names. And he does.
Yeah, he does.
And so he became. So I have a whole bunch of coconut meat here. What you want to do when you make a soup or any kind of coconut cream is you want to do the coconut all by itself first. A little water in there. And then on the Vitamix for a bit of a while. So this is how I like it, with a little, not too much water in there when I make a good thick soup. At the end we're going to wind up using the hell out of the plunger. So when I get this much cream out of it, like it's a good sized coconut, I like to take a bit of the coconut to the side and use it as a topping for the actual soup later when it's done. The next thing we go with is the ginger and the garlic, especially the ginger because it's a bit fibery. Where's my thing? Equal parts ginger and garlic, as I always say. Quite like equal parts, so we're gonna get into another piece of garlic here. Alright, so now we want to run this again by itself because we want to get the ginger nice and broke down. And at this point we are going to use the plunger, and we're going to use the plunger probably all the way through because we want this to be a thick, thick, thick soup. So there we go with that. Alright, so now we put the rest of the goodies in. We should be able to pretty much finish it off since I'm using the plunger. So we want to go with about that much celery. Piece of broccoli stem. A little bit of a brown piece there. We'll get rid of some of that. Looks good. And we go looking for a good piece of nice cilantro here. I have a local market by me that is both local and organic. Cilantro. Local and organic. Nice. So we're going to just go with all of that. Cram that. Whoops. Piece of kale. So a nice green soup here for us. So I'm going to put that in there. Usually I get all this stuff from Mountain Rose Herbs and it's organic. I've been a little limited on funds, so I got these at a Indian store. They are not organic. I of course took the pendulum with me for me to determine which were the good spices for me to get. So I love Middle Eastern spices and sort of around Arabia and stuff, so I just eyeball this stuff. Roughly a teaspoon to like a good 2 or 3 tablespoons of coriander. Good heaping tablespoon of curry. I think I got the mild there. I should have got the hot. Cumin powder. Lots of that for me. Good 2 or 3 heaping tablespoons there. Some black peppercorns. And finally, the curry has turmeric in it, but we want extra turmeric because that's really good for your joints and stuff. Culinary turmeric, not quite as powerful as I guess is what they call medicinal turmeric, but nonetheless good. And then we're gonna freaking knock the shit out of this motherfucker with the 160,000 heat unit cayenne pepper. This is hot, hot, hot. And of course that's good for cleansing and all that kind of stuff. Get any of this on your finger, you want to definitely be careful where you stick your finger later. So, that's probably good right there. That's probably too much actually, but I can take a lot of hot. to round out the flavor thing, we're going to go with a bit of apple cider vinegar in there. That's probably a good 1/4 cup or so. And then for some really good omega fats, I usually use coconut butter in my drinks. I use regular butter in my soups. I don't like this in drinks. I think it tastes kind of weird, but I do use it if I have to, and hopefully I don't have to too much. So we're going to do about that much butter in there. And so I'm going to introduce you to one super amazing, not raw thing that's going to bring some Asian love into your food. Toasted sesame oil. If you do one thing that is like, there's a few things you should do that are cooked, and this is going to put such an amount of flavor into this you won't even believe. So we just drizzle a little bit of that in there, and this is a really good quality brand. It's called International Collection. It's good oil. So then I believe I'm going to call this, and I'll put a little salt in there. This is going to be the second to the final ingredient. Just got this new with my my stevia. About that much miso in there. A little bit of salt. Some Celtic sea salt, good for the minerals. I did go on this anti-salt kick for a while, and I got a little bit cold this winter, and I realized it's because I have low blood pressure. And for most people, salt is no good because it's a vasoconstrictor. But for me, it's good because I have low blood pressure, so the vasoconstricting like takes my blood pressure back up. So we're going to blend this thing down.
I can't eat too much of it.
So let's find us a nice bowl to put this in. So here we go. Here's the beginning of our 14-day nutritional fast that we're going to do for a couple months. There's the soup. And then we're going to garnish it with a little bit of our coconut cream. Alright, and then we're going to garnish that with just a little drizzle of our toasted sesame seed oil. That's pretty. You'd probably pay a ton of money for that at a raw food restaurant.
Really?
Probably, yeah, and less than that. That's just my good stuff. Worked up a bit of a sweat. Second warm day we've had up in the mountains today. It's supposed to get cool again tomorrow, if you can believe it. So there we go. That's pretty yummy. And my non-raw food roommate, who's behind the camera right now, loves these. So, anyways, that's Keith with my, oh, I needed to mention this. I eat late at night, and I've always, almost all my life, ate one big meal a day. And that really goes against a lot of the propaganda that's been around with diets and stuff for the last 20 years about that we should eat 6 small meals or we should eat 3 meals or whatever. I personally always go with my intuition over everything. If something doesn't feel good to me, I don't give a flying fuck what anybody's saying about what's going on. If it doesn't feel right to me, I'm not doing it. So this German guy, who I first saw with Dr. Mercola, his name is Ori, O-R-I, Hofmeckler, H-O-F-M-E-K-L-E-R. He's a German nutritionalist. He has 2 books out called The Warrior Diet and The Anti-Estrogenic Diet. This is the first person I've ever heard that has said that we should eat one big meal a day and it should be later in the day. This has always worked for me, and I just wanted to mention his name because I've been wanting to, because I generally eat one big meal. So, this is Keith, Live Rockstar, saying namaste, love you, bright blessings, peace.